And show up and rolling here in a little bit. Got to turn all of my good little players off, which is good. And a little get that up and going as soon as I all of my make sure that everything is working fine. So far, I'm having a good run at it, but we'll see. Welcome in, everybody. Sit back, relax. I'm still setting up, so I hope everybody gets their drinks, food. It's almost that time for a lot of us, if you haven't eaten already. So but while I do that, I'm going to, make sure that we're all good to go. And then I'm going to ring-a-ling-a-ling the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show folks tonight. And get Barry and the rest of that we're and John in here. Hope everybody had a terrific week. All right. Today hasn't been a really good day. We had, I'm not sure if they're going to report about it or talk about it right away, but we are going to, at least one of the shows will go over about the Charlie Kirk shooting and how we miss him already. All right. He's never been on our shows, but we've had people that work with him in the show. And we hope that, that they're able to make it in tonight, but they may not due to circumstances. I don't know how close Brent was to Charlie and his family, but I know they worked together for a while. So and he knew Brent for a long time, Charlie for a long time. So we're gonna let me ring up John and get the call going. John Barry.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh man, it seemed like things were going okay until I heard about Charlie today.
I know, it's devastating, man. I've tried a few times to write Brent an email about it, but it's just, I don't even know what to say,
Yeah, I do have, I have taps pulled up. I know he wasn't military or anything like that, but if I play that, it won't trigger a, what do they call it? A break. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do have, if you say we're going to take a moment of silence, I'll play that so everybody can hear it, and We'll get that rolling.
How long is it?
It's about a minute. It's actually just a little
Okay.
less than a minute. All right.
Okay. We could almost just open with it, you know.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Just when instead of counting down, just play that and then count down the last 3 seconds of that or whatever, you know.
Okay. I can do that. In place right now.
Okay. Wow, man. it's pretty.
Yeah. I mean,
Terrific, man.
out of all the people, you know, I saw a little bit
Mm-hmm.
from Glenn Beck. I saw, what was her name? Uh, Megan Kelly. Talking to Glenn about it, and like, oh my God, she was really worked up. It's like, man, it was, yeah. It's, yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty devastating.
yeah.
I mean, what a legend.
He is, and he always will be. And he has his kids. You know, I hope that you know they always remember him for the great man
Mm-hmm.
that he was. You know, since he has, I think like 2 or 3 kids. I'm sure. King Bush Camp in the Kick Chat. Appreciate you coming in. Thanks for the support always with the Bush Camp family and all that. Always love seeing you and Queen in the Kick Chat. Appreciate you.
I mean, it's hard to even talk about any of this other stuff I've got.
Yeah, that's gonna kind of overshadow it. If you want, we can
Yeah.
do that just before we go out as a last thing. You want to do that then?
At the very end of it?
At the very end of the show. I'll tack that on to our. I'll tack that on to our outro instead of having coming in on that, because I know you have probably a lot of news.
Well, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I do, but this is kind of bigger than all that now, you know.
Yeah. Or do you want to wait for the last segment to do that? If Brent comes in with it, to have it, I can put it anywhere you want.
Let's just open up with it.
Okay.
We don't have to second guess that. We'll just do that.
All right. That'll just give us a little bit more time to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Papa Pinky in the Kick Chat. Appreciate you. Welcome in. We're getting set up for the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show and the rest of the shows tonight. We're doing pre-show right now. Roger will be.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all these other headlines. It's like.
Yeah, Roger's going to take and restream us tonight, and I do believe the Great Conspiracy will also be restreaming. He's been having some problems today. I've been trying to catch a little bit of his streams off and on earlier. He's had some connection issues over there, but we know how that works, right? Of course, King Bush Camp, you and Queen, all the best. Across the pond, we hope that you're doing well. From sea to shining sea. And don't go too crazy with that banana, man. That's King's little thing that he does. He has this huge inflatable banana. Don't ask, but you probably get the idea.
Yeah, it's all right, let's see. That takes care of that. Okay. And Barry sent me a text that he has to talk to his dad at some point today. So he might have to step up for a few minutes.
Well, we
at some point.
understand that, you know. Later on, before I forget, 10th of October. Do you have anybody scheduled?
Yeah,
You do.
that is this. The
Of
10th of October.
October. 10th
Oh God.
of October.
Yeah, I don't work out that far in advance.
Well, Angel wants would like to come on, but that's as
Okay.
that's as soon as he can come on. You might want to
Is that a
pencil that
Wednesday or a
one in.
Sunday?
Pencil
Okay.
that one in for a Wednesday afternoon. All right, and I'll let him know that yeah, you got it. All right, and then
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna talk to Nancy later on to see if she wants to come in. Like, what month? What week would be best for you to have her come in? If you want her to come in once a week. I mean, once a month.
on a Sunday.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
once a
you want her
month
on a Sunday night?
Sunday show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that might
Yeah.
work different.
'Cause-
I'll ask her about Sunday nights.
Because
I don't know.
without Barry, Sunday night is more touch and go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got Doc, but he, also said sometimes he can't make it, and so
Right.
motivation is what she is where she is.
Well, if you can, try to pop into her show tonight. I'll add you in. All right, and
Okay.
just hang out with us. You don't have to say anything. Listen to the show, and then when we go in break, mention to her, say, "Hey, Nancy, that's the
Yeah.
best way to do it." I mean, you
Okay,
get
I can do
you.
that.
I mean, then you don't have to hear it second eared or second hand.
Yeah.
And you're always welcome there. She's already told you that, and that's how the shows work.
Yeah.
Same with Roger. When we'll get you on Roger's show too, if on a topic that you'll know about. We'll bring you in because he's going to do some history stuff, and I know you're good with history.
Oh, some of it, yeah.
Yeah, we might do something like talk about Lindbergh case or the Rockefellers. Would that be something down your alley, or would it be more JFK type
The
stuff?
The Lindbergh, I don't know
Lindbergh
anything
kid.
about.
Yeah, well,
He flew a plane or something.
well, yeah, Charles Lindbergh was the first one to cross the Atlantic in a plane, and then and then when he came back, someone kidnapped his kid and was never seen again.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
No, I don't know a thing about that.
Okay. And then you got the Michael Rockefeller. He went down to like Papua New Guinea and disappeared. But
I don't know anything
there's
about that
a
either.
whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff that was like. But he's going to have all sorts of other stuff too. I don't know how the first one he's going to do is going to talk about Tunguska and Tesla. Nikola Tesla. So that'll be this Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Lordy.
All right. OBS here real quick and make sure that I'm on the, take us off the, what do they call it? The waiting for the call, because we're on the call. There we go. So, yeah, it's just you and me for right now, and we'll get that going. Top of the hour. Hold on here. I thought I seen Barry lit up. Yeah, there he is. He's probably waiting for me to send him a request. There you go. Wow. Now, you can fill him in a little, you know, on what you and I talked about with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, yeah. Did you hear any of what CS and I were talking about earlier?
Yeah, we're just basically going to come on a minute later to play taps.
Yeah, I think we should, man. It's brutal. I mean, it's cutting to the bone, dude. This one really hurts, man. Of course, we've been saying, you know, it's coming. There's monsters among us. I've been saying it. And I was not kidding, man. And they're out for blood, dude. These people are out for blood.
You can tell it was a pro job because I listened to a bunch of the YouTubes, and you could not hear the gunshots. So it was super silenced, or they used some sort of like an air. Yeah, and
it sounded more like mechanical than explosive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know, and not just anybody can pick stuff like that up. Well, maybe, you know, if they had an air rifle, you can get a 50 caliber air rifle, but you know, they're not saying, you know, what kind of rifle or what kind of shot it was, or you know, or anything. That's to my knowledge. Now, any of you guys find out anything or know anything, you know, I'm sure you're going to bring it up later.
Yeah.
I know multiple sources have told me that on Facebook and elsewhere that the left is celebrating it already. That's how sick they are. Man.
Oh yeah, they are. Yep.
These are sick, demented, deranged, psychopathic lunatics.
I'll be right back. I'm getting my refill, guys. Yeah. Welcome in, Barry.
Oh yeah, no problem. So yeah, you know, it just almost seemed like not real, you know, because he's just so like, just an average dude, you know, a humble guy, young guy, full of life, full of energy, full of vitality, a full life ahead of him, only like 31 years of age.
Yeah, 31. That's insane. I didn't even realize he was that young.
Yeah, and he accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. Just imagine what he would have been able to do had he been with us. It's just, we're going to fill that vacuum for a long time, unfortunately. And who knows, man? They may try to take out others as well. It's who they are. It's what we've been saying. I've said that the left leans towards violence. I'm pretty sure you're in agreement with me on that. And I don't mean every liberal, but you know what I mean? The radical left, they lean towards violent, whether it's literal violence like hurting somebody or just violent behavior like burning things down. It's violent, dude. This is who they are. They're revolutionaries, man. And it just pisses me off that, you know, we have to keep saying this over and over and over again before people can realize it and wake up to it. Especially Democrats. They should be ashamed of those kind of people in their party. The Van Joneses, the psychopaths on the left, the people that are literally like, you know, defending this lunatic that brutally slaughtered in a racially motivated murder on the Charlotte train. That's insane too. This got to stop, man, or it's going to be bad. I'm going to hold this until later, man. But I'm wired up already, you know, family issues and things, and then this just...
Yeah, how's your mom, dude?
Well, I don't know, so I'm going to find out sometime during the show, and I don't know, it's supposed to have already happened, but things get moved around, as you well know. And so I'm just waiting on the call, and then I don't know how long the call's going to last, but As soon as I'm done, I'll come right back.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's okay though, right?
Yeah, I'm sure she will be.
Okay, well, you said it was a surgery?
Well,
You don't
yeah.
have to get into details, but it's not open heart surgery or something, right?
No, but it's,
Okay.
like I said, I don't want to talk about it. It's hard enough already to deal with it, but I'm hoping and I'm positive and I'm prayerful. I fasted, I prayed, I did everything, man, to just so that it comes out the way that we're hoping. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This is crazy stuff, man. Crazy times.
It really is, man. And we called it because we said, that the fight begins once Trump wins. If everybody thought, it was going to be a cakewalk now that Trump won, they're wrong. This is where the battle begins, man. And I probably should save this for the show, but I know exactly what's going on here, and you do too. What's really happening. What is the motivating factor behind, riling up these type of people? We know what that
demoralization, yeah.
Well, not just that, but even worse, man. Even worse. You know what it is. I mean, they've warned us in their movie shows, right? Their little TV shows. They told us about it. Right before Trump got elected, they came out with those 2 movies telling us what the plan was.
Yeah.
That's the plan. And we'll talk about that because that is what they want. More than.
And this is how you get it.
Well, that's typically how it's done. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm hoping we don't take the bait and we take the high road. But they're making it very difficult for some people, I'm sure. But that's where Trump comes in, and he's going to have to calm people down and demand that the fake news start, reporting fairly. They're the ones to blame. They are the major blame behind all this kind of madness. This type of madness, they're behind it. They're the ones that don't condemn it when it happens. They celebrate it.
Oh, I've got the clip.
Oh,
I've got a clip, man.
Ahead of me on, and I'm just guessing what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that one, man. I mean, we talked about that. You and me, we talked about that, about how the media, will they learn their lesson or will they just completely double down and just go completely insane? I mean, yeah, it looks that way, dude. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the guy hasn't been dead for like an hour, and look at the hellscape that is out there.
All right, guys, this is what I'm going to do. I didn't use the pre-show. I used the one for the first one. What we're going to do is when we take and get ready, I'm just going to get everybody to hang up, and we're going to just call everybody right back on the same deal. All right?
Okay.
Well, the same chat instead of going to the pre-show, because I didn't use the pre-show when I clicked the wrong one by accident.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And what it'll do is when we leave and I end the call, it'll restart the whole thing all over.
Yeah, this is the call. I'm gonna have to take it, man. So I'll be back. I'm back.
Perfect.
All right, but look for it. And then you just keep it off to the side, Barry, and then you can jump back in.
Is he here still?
Probably not.
Oh yeah, that's his avatar.
It'll be all right because when I end the meeting, it'll end the call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just him finding out about his mom, so.
Yeah.
It could
I
take
hope
a little
everything's
bit,
all right over there.
Sure, we all do.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough week from what I'm seeing everywhere. Starting out. Yeah. Let's see, who else joined since Zertec Gaming, or Zertec Games. Thanks, appreciate you. Sir Funky L has man, some of these guys got some and gals got some crazy names, but Nicks. But that's cool, you know. Great conspiracy in the house, and most likely Roger Hansen too. Yep. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Getting all fired up and ready to go.
Yeah. God, I'm sorry. I'm just reading these headlines, and it's just it's devastating, man.
Yep.
I'm sure Brent is like flipping out.
You know, I even put out that he's supposed to be in the show tonight, but I don't know if you know,
Oh no, he
put out
wasn't.
that,
He's scheduled
I
for
wasn't
next
sure
week.
if he was going to make it or not, or say anything about it or not.
He'll
I'm
be
sure he
on
was
next
probably
week.
pretty
He's not-
close to the family.
He's not.
Huh?
Nothing.
What I was going to say is I'm sure he was pretty close to the family too, if he
Mhm.
knew him, you know.
Yeah. But no, he wasn't scheduled for tonight. He's scheduled for next week, actually.
Oh, I thought he was scheduled in for tonight. Who do we have tonight? Just two of us? Three of us?
Just Barry.
Oh, okay.
Barry, yeah. We're fine.
All right.
Um,
I need to change that.
and then
slide back.
sometime later this month, I've got that dude, that doctor guy.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out when that is. And
Man, I
when
got
I
a,
should start reaching her.
I got a
I've got the
message
email,
from
I just-
those people, and I'm like, okay. And, you know, they were, it sounded like they wanted me to send them money, and I'm like, we don't do that, you know?
Really?
Yeah. You know, I'm like, yeah, I mean, we don't,
Yeah.
we don't pay guests to come on, and I don't pay the hosts either, and I don't get paid, so no, we don't do that. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what networks you've dealt with before, but you know, some of them have the money to do that. You know, that came out of the pockets of probably U.S. aid and things like that, but not me. Not me.
Yeah, it's that's not going to happen. I mean, the guy sounds like it'll be interesting. I mainly did it because I wanted to work with Terry more, the guy who set the interview up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always kind of want to say yes to him so that he keeps coming to me.
Well, you know, I hope I didn't, you know, get the wrong impression of that, you know.
Yeah.
But that.
But I mean, this isn't really my area. You know, it's medical stuff. I don't. I mean, we don't cover a lot of that.
Okay, that's fixed for the slideshow when we're all done for the encore. All right, good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Whoa, what was that?
Hello, I'm back.
How you doing, Barry?
Are we still in the same room? Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to stay in the same room.
But you're going to close it out, though,
Yeah,
right?
I am, and then I'm going to
Yeah, yeah.
reopen it, but I'm waiting for everything to, you know, so that he can keep going, you know, and I have a few minutes.
It's about that time.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, yeah, I'm getting ready to switch us over. All right. But I want to
Okay.
make sure that, you know, even if we close at the 5-minute mark, we all have a couple minutes before I go over to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Say, okay, hey guys, getting ready. We're gonna switch over. And we don't do it on air.
Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah,
There it is.
There it is.
How's your mom?
All right. With that, I'm gonna call you guys right back. All right, and we'll get everything going.
Yes.
All right. All right, let me call those guys right back and we'll get it going.
Okay.
All right. The buffer file is playing right now, and
where's Barry?
it's still calling him because he's still over and hasn't hung up yet. Where'd he go? Come on, Barry.
There he is.
I'm here, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I was trying to call you. Call you.
I was looking at this picture of James Wood posted it out. It's
can't be doing that while we're getting ready to go. Come on now.
It's brutal.
Picture what?
Of him, Charlie Kirk, with his beautiful wife and kids, holding his kids in his arms, and just destroyed. That's all gone, man, because of a lunatic.
All right.
Just take it in a second, just split second, taken away.
All right.
Man.
Taps is playing right now. That's our moment of silence. We're doing it early. All right. I don't know if you got clued in on that or not, Barry. We got 30 seconds.
What'd you say?
I said Taps is playing right now. We're doing that.
I told him earlier.
Yeah, knock that out right away. And while that's going on, here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the air right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, and it is a red letter day. Charlie Kirk was assassinated earlier today, about an hour and maybe an hour and 30 minutes ago, 90 minutes ago, I found out that he had died. We are at a horrible point in our history when this is the type of stuff that's going on. And if you go over to X, they're seemingly celebrating this. With me tonight, I've got Bullhorn Barry. How are you doing, buddy?
I've had better days, man. It's this one's a tough one.
It's pretty devastating, shocking, unbelievable. Charlie Kirk, 31 years old, founder of Turning Point USA, famed YouTuber. I mean, millions of followers, beloved by millions and millions and millions of people because he spoke simple truth. He spoke his truth articulately to college students on a regular basis. I mean, what, 2-3 a week? How many events has he been doing over the last few years? He's everywhere.
Yeah, nonstop. A
And
workaholic.
constantly, respectfully having the conversations with people. We agree to disagree, or that, hey, this is a fact. You can't, dispute this or whatever. But he spoke his truth. And that's all he did. But some people out there can't handle it. They think it's hate when it's love.
Yeah. I don't even know that they think that what he's saying is hateful. I think they're the ones that are full of hate. And many of them on the lunatic fringe left are, in my opinion, monsters and evil. And many of them lean towards violence, either violent behavior or violence is in physical violence. And we've seen that play out time and time again. And it's got to stop. But we know who's behind it. We know who's inciting these people to do these kinds of things. The fake news media. They are the number one culprit behind inciting these kind of people and winding these kind of people up. They're the number one culprit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's disgusting. At 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, this segment was played on MS, LSD, DNC,
LSD.
whatever they're calling them now. Those lunatics over there who
I think they're
are
on
inciting. Yeah, they are on LSD. They have to be. Just air this kind of garbage. What I'm going to play for you is going to make your blood boil. At this point, all they knew is he got shot. They didn't know he was about to pass away. He was fighting for his actual life and losing. And this is what these scumbags had to say.
Talk to me about the environment in which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this.
We don't know if it was a supporter shooting his gun off in celebration.
They're insane.
That's what this moron just said. Matthew Dowd is his name. He's an idiot. Let me play.
But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt,
and that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
It's his fault.
What pure garbage, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy was very understanding of everyone with other people's view. It's the left who's not understanding of other people's views. What do they expect? They're in America. Do they expect people to like their communist, socialist, Marxist, globalist, strip us of all of our rights and freedoms type of mentality? Do they expect us to like that? I mean, but yet we still allow them to, have their opinion. We still peacefully interact with them. It's them that's not being peaceful. It's them that's being constantly hateful. Charlie Kirk was always willing to listen to anybody. Satanist he had, LGBTQ plus people. He didn't say, I don't want to hear your opinion. He simply wanted civil debate, something the left doesn't want to do because they know they're unpopular and they can't win in civil discourse.
Work, man. They did it to Trump. They tried to do it to him. This is what it looks like, folks, when they just aim a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left and they actually get off that shot.
Yeah. They were probably anticipating an angel or God to help. That's what it sounds like. Well, God's probably going to step in and help, so aim off a little bit, I'll score.
He mentions the hateful speech that Charlie spreads. He spreads all this hate, and of course it's going to come back to bite him someday. Again, this is in the thick of it. They didn't know how bad he was hurt. They didn't know anything. They just know he got shot. And then they bring this guy in off the cuff to spew hatred like this on this MSLSD garbage of channel. What hate does Charlie spread? Well, he thinks life begins at birth. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with him there. I don't know when it begins. That's the one thing I admit. I have no clue. I just don't know. Arguments can be made for different phases, the heartbeat, inception. I don't know. I don't know the answer. He was confirming his convictions that it began at birth. So what? Okay, that's not hate. That's not a hateful thing. You don't deserve to die for that.
It's coming from a good place too. If he truly believes that, that means he wants to protect life. So no matter, even if you disagree with that on the left, you can't disagree with the fact that his intent is protecting life, which should be everybody's agenda, is to protect all life, especially human life.
What else? Transgenders. Okay, well, I tend to agree with him on almost all his positions there. But is that hateful? Am I hateful for that? No. Not even close. Not even close, folks. These people are despicable. If you disagree with me, you're hate speech. If you disagree with me, therefore, we can do anything we want to you. And this is on a national network that should get its license yanked immediately for this. I mean, they're going to go out of business soon enough anyway, but they really ought to take some steps and say, you know, you people spewing this crap about Charlie while his body's not even cold. You need to lose your licenses. You need to be fined. You need to be sanctioned. You need to be put over daddy's knee and spanked.
Well, I mean, it's they're being shown who they really are, which is what we've been saying for the last month, is that everything that's coming out now is going to be massive disclosure. We're going to see who they are and what they stand for. And that's going to awaken a lot of people. And unfortunately, sometimes bad things have to happen in order to wake people up. I wish that was not the case, but good things can come from bad things. And in that sense, Charlie Kirk's murder will have good come out of it. There's no question about it, because people will awaken, and maybe some on the left and some in the fake news media will say, you know what, maybe we need to tone our rhetoric down. Maybe we need to try to unify.
No. The left is going to crank it up to 11 like they always do. They're going to blame him. They're going to blame guns. They're going to blame all kinds of things that have nothing to do with this lunatic who is still on the loose, by the way. They arrested someone earlier today, but it turns out that just wasn't the guy. The guy with his pants around his knees or his ankles.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that perp walk, but it was pretty embarrassing. Somehow his pants fell down, and he's kind of tripping over them. They had to just pick him up by his feet.
People wear their pants these days. They wear them below their butt cheeks.
Well, this was an older white guy.
Well, white people do it too.
Yeah, in Utah. But the guy's still on the loose. As far as I know, I'm watching my updates here. I don't see anything that says otherwise. If they caught this guy. So if they don't catch him right away, it's going to be questionable if they even do.
Yeah.
Right? So here we've got a murderer who got away with it, potentially. And who's he looking for next?
Yeah.
Who's next? That's the question. I was watching Tim Pool do a live stream on this earlier today, and he said that they've now canceled every live event they're doing in the foreseeable future. He's like, why bother? Why would I go out there? I can sit here in the comfort of my studio and put out, the show that gets seen by millions of people. Or I can go talk in front of, maybe 1,000 people. It's a fraction of the audience size. Why would I do it?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. It's one of those things where some people, you just can't make peace with them. This is kind of where Brent and I disagree a little bit. I'm all for having civil discourse with people that want to have it, but so many of these people on the left don't. and there's too many of them are loose cannons and that will fire at you and try to kill you because they don't agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, Brent, who we'll have on next week, by the way, is a very, very good, close personal friend with Charlie Kirk. They've worked together for years. He knows him very, very well, and I'm sure he's in shock right now. My heart breaks for him and for Charlie's family and for all their friends. But they are doing a lot of campus events. You know, Brent does. How safe are those events going forward? Common ground is what they call it. Common ground.
Right. There is no the problem. That's the problem. They've leaned so far to the left that they can't find we can't find any common ground with them. And like I was saying in a post today, we got to have unity, but we can't align ourselves and unify with communism, Marxism, globalism, tyranny, zero emissions, and insanity. We cannot do that. That is not an option.
Yeah, well, Steven Crowder does all his campus stuff too, right? Change My Mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go out and do these events on campuses, and now it's just too dangerous. You can't have a conservative voice on a campus because they might die. It's just way too dangerous to go to a college if you're a conservative and speak. I mean, the left for years have been talking about comedians can't go to campuses. They make a joke and everyone starts questioning, well, that's not funny. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jerry Seinfeld talked about it 20 years ago, how he couldn't go on campuses. It was just too vile of an environment. Now it's going to be a complete echo chamber in every single campus. Any conservative voice will be shut down forever, because they know it's way too dangerous to speak out. Dangerous for your grades. It's dangerous for your social life. It's dangerous for your life.
Yep. Yeah, and we need to really discuss, what is really causing all of this? What is behind this? And what are the social engineers, the propaganda masters trying to achieve from this? And we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. And it does seem like what they're trying to do is invoke civil war. And I've already seen on social media people on the right, they're not responding very well about it. And I think we need to tone the rhetoric down, because the last thing we need is a hard civil war in this country. It will not be sustainable. It will not be good. It will. It's just won't pan out.
So what do we do? Just give up our country? I mean, you talk about the people who. The powers that be, so to speak, they're in these universities, they're teaching the classes, and they're going to be real happy when they look across the board, over the next few months, the next semester, and see every single conservative event is canceled out of fear for their lives. They're going to love it. Oh, look, now we're just that much closer to total brainwashing stage. Yeah. Wiping out every last vestibule of any conservative thought from every single university in the country with one bullet. And it's just, it's devastating to see, folks. Well, Tim was also talking about, when does a civil war start? How do you know you're in one? Was it ultimately going to be when they shot Charlie Kirk? That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, anytime you try to do something like that, you're going to try to take out the head. You're going to try to take out the leader or one of the leaders. That's why they tried to take out Trump. That's why they tried to take out Charlie Kirk. They know that that's what will trigger what they're hoping for, which is a hard civil war. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that calmer heads are going to prevail. But I think what Trump needs to do is immediately get, on top of this thing. And what I've been suggesting that he needs to do, and others as well, he needs to have fireside chats, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week, to talk to the American people and lay things out, like what's really happening, and give the facts and give the documents and speak some sense to this country, because otherwise, I don't know, he's got to use all the tools that he has at his disposal. And we need to clean up the crime in these leftist hellscapes, because, look, we've been saying before Trump even got elected that the hellscapes are only going to get worse and worse, because they're going to try to Trump-proof it, which means they are going to allow more crime to happen. They're going to let more lunatics out that have committed hard crimes just to run wild and do even worse crimes. We knew this was the this was their agenda and this is what they planned on doing. And now they're doing it. But it's got to be stopped legally and lawfully, not through some civil war.
Mm. Yeah, I'm in a bad mood today because of all this, and I'm probably pretty pessimistic about it all. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say something I'll regret, but we're getting very close to the Civil War end of it. We're getting very close to being in a country that is just it's broken. It's broken so badly. And to fix it, we need to unindoctrinate tens of millions of people to show them, hey, we're not out here to take away all your rights. We don't want to kill you. We don't want to send you in a hole somewhere in some concentrated. It's all crap. If you listen to MSLSD, you're going to hear that crap and you're going to believe it. Turn it off.
Yeah.
NPR, turn it off. Defund it. Thank God. Thank God those lunatics lost their money. They're egging this stuff on more than anybody.
Yep.
It's hard. It's hard. We're going to have to do some tough things here because we've got to fix our country. It's much more broken than many of us understand.
Well, the worst
really is.
Gotten away with it. All of these people behind this agenda that have been stoking the fires, whether through policies or whether through corrupt judges or corrupt politicians or corrupt law officials, NGOs, all of this stuff that they've done, man, the wide open borders, there needs to be arrest indictments and convictions, man. That's got to start, dude. I mean, Trump's got to figure out very quickly that, if he doesn't bring forth legal and lawful justice, that all hell is going to be unleashed on America. And that is not what we want.
Yeah, you're right. There have to be ramifications. We just need to see some things happening, man. I want to see some actions taken on this. I don't see how we can exist as a two-party state if one party demonizes the other to such an extent that their followers, their worshipers, are willing to go get a gun and kill because they think they're doing good to the world. Whoever pulled that trigger thought he was doing good for the world. He thought the world is going to be better if Charlie Kirk is dead.
And did you see the post that the official Black Lives Matter account posted? Benny Johnson posted this, and it was a video of a woman saying that as long as the people are oppressed, they have a right to violence. And that was in response to the murder of the Ukrainian woman that was brutally slaughtered in a racially motivated hate crime.
Mm-hmm. That's another story we haven't paid nearly enough attention to. Or at least I haven't paid that on the show. I mean, I've been reading a lot, but we didn't get to it on Sunday night show, and I wish we did, because it's another very, very important story. How this 14-time convicted felon was let loose again and again and again, and clearly schizophrenic. He told his sister that the government put something in his body that made him do it. So he's a lunatic. Yeah. We used to have insane asylums for dangerous lunatics like that.
Exactly.
Whatever happened to those? Remember One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? I mean, it was a horrible story.
Yeah.
And
nobody helped the woman. They just acted like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
She's bleeding to death. No one went over there to even console or comfort her. They just pretended like nothing happened and went on with their life without a hitch or a glitch, like nothing out of the ordinary had happened. But this was a brutal murder. Sliced her neck, man, multiple times.
Yeah.
And she bled out in front of people, and people just ignored it like it didn't even happen. And this is what I've been talking about. I've been saying it for like the last month on this show and on social media. I've said there are monsters among us. And if we don't understand that, we're never going to figure out what's really going on here. There are literal monsters out there, and we need to wake up to that.
Mm-hmm. And that's not the first clip I've seen of someone on a train slicing people's necks just out of the blue for no reason. And that's the shocking thing about it, is she just got on the train, sat down, took out her phone and started reading something or whatever, going through her timeline or who knows. And then bam, from behind, out of the blue, out of nowhere, unprovoked, They never even made eye contact. They never said a word to each other. Nothing.
Yeah.
He
She
just
looked
stabs her in the neck.
at that guy like, why would you do that? You know? And it
Yeah.
has come out that because we have the video now, it's come out where he said, I got that white woman. So it was a race motivated hate crime.
Yeah. He said it several times, clear as day.
Yeah, this is something we need to wake up to, and I've been posting about it on social media, and I've been getting some hate from some people, but it's just the truth, man. We have to stop pretending that racism towards white people is not a problem. In fact, it's the number one racist problem that we have in America. I've been saying it for a while, and I know it's not popular, but I don't care because it's the truth, and we have the facts. Go watch Matt Walsh's video, like a 3-minute video that Elon Musk reposted saying that things have got to change, giving all the stats. The stats and the facts don't lie. White people are not oppressing and killing black people. It's the opposite. And look, I'm not saying that all black people are bad. I'm against all forms of racism equally. My point is, you're not calling out all forms of racism. And as I've said before, if you do not equally condemn all forms of racism, you yourself are a racist.
Yeah, so it's a big thing. Obviously, this Ukrainian woman, everyone wants to root for the Ukrainian. And yet it's a black dude, so everyone wants to root for the black dude as well. And the BLM tape, if you're living in oppression and violence is okay. Basically. That's ridiculous.
But Matt Walsh gives the statistics, the violence of black people towards white people is off the charts, and they are just 16% of the population, which makes it even more absurd and more off the charts. It should not be that way. And I'm not even blaming the black community. I blame the social engineers and the people in the fake news who have brainwashed them to think that whitey is bad.
Yeah, it's a devastating, it's a bad situation all around from every angle. You know, it really is. It truly is just a bad situation from every angle. But how do we fix it? You know, it's over my pay grade. I can throw ideas at the wall all day, but it's rare that we ever see any type of leadership out there that seems to be interested in the priorities of the American people, with the exception of Donald Trump, I would say. You know, it's something you just don't see.
Well,
And,
my prediction, it's going to come to a head. Those two Rams are going to butt heads, and that's when the attention grabber, that will be the attention grabbing moment. And when that happens, the dust will settle, and one side is going to rise up, either craziness, sanity, and madness, or common sense and reason. One of those is going to come out of the ashes.
Yeah, I'm rooting for sense and reason, which is why we need to take a break right now. Folks, this is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. We'll be back with Write More right after this. Write More.
And we're on radio break.
We'll be back with Write More right after this.
We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Mark.
And sometimes it works out. No, most of the time it does. I was waiting for you to get fired up even more. I'm ready for it.
Well, it's early.
It's early, huh? Okay.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Broccoli salad. Oh, yeah. Is Tommy Robinson supposed to speak today or this week?
13th.
13th.
Yeah,
I was
this weekend.
wondering if this was something that, they were going to use to overshadow that. You don't need to know. This is going on.
Yeah.
You know?
If anything, it'll get more people to his rally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he's alive. You know, I mean, all these
Mhm.
people that speak the truth are in danger. Their lives are in danger.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that they don't like is martyrs.
Yeah, well, they're getting them.
Well,
Every time they take one out, they're a martyr because
Charlie's a martyr, that's for sure.
Mhm.
yeah. And it may be why they have never taken out Alex Jones, is they know that that would just strike him down, and his movement would only become stronger, sort of like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But anytime you're in a war, and you're desperate, you try to take out the leader, and because you hope that will, like you were saying before the show, CS, about it'll demoralize everybody and make us want to quit and not fight. But we're never going to back down. We're in this thing tooth and nail to the very end. We have more resilience, more resolve than they can even imagine, and that's where they've misunderstood us.
Uh-huh.
And here's something
They have
too
no
to think
idea
about.
how
Charlie
we can go.
Charlie was one of those guys that over time he could have made a great president.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
maybe that's why they wanted him taken out. They saw the potential.
Mhm.
I mean, they could easily go into AI and ask AI who are the potential conservative presidential candidates in the next 50 years. And I guarantee his name would pop up if it was an uncensored version of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, all the elites, they're using AI in ways that we don't have access to it. I guess it's kind of like Project Looking Glass. They just want to use it as like a crystal ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like the Fireside Institute, Know about them?
No.
Psychics employed by the CIA. 30 seconds, guys.
What's the thing that Thiel's behind? Plantier, the thing that's from Lord of the Rings. Remember the little crystal ball? That's where they got the name from. From the crystal ball.
The Eye
in
of
Lord
Sauron?
Yes, that's where he came up with that name, because it's straight from Lord of the Rings. Because they know that they're wielding that kind of power with it.
And here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're live and back on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show. Found out earlier today that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed by a gunman in Utah.
Mm.
And I don't know, we're just kind of going over all the news here, talking about our reactions to it and what's next. What's next for the world? What's next for America? I don't know, man.
I heard about it in the strangest way today. I was out running errands, and I was at Natural Grocers just getting some, food and some water. And I had on my We the People, patriotic shirt, just big and bold. And I was standing in line, and I didn't know the person in front of me was a patriot. Most people that go there and work there are liberals. But she said, I see your shirt. Did you know that Charlie Kirk was shot and is in critical condition? And I was like, what? And anyway, she started telling me a little bit about it, and I just went off in the line, man. And I was talking to everybody in the line. There was at least 5 or 6 of us. And I was like, man, this madness has got to end. We need to be able to have everybody have their own opinion and peacefully agree to disagree. I went off, dude. I sounded like I was on the radio. Let's just put it that way. And not one single person said anything back this time around. Usually they do, but this time they didn't dare. And then the lady behind the cashier, she looked at me. She says, well, I don't know anything about it, but I'll certainly look into it. And she goes, I'm with you as far as that goes. I want peace. And I hope there's more people like that. I would imagine she's a liberal, but I'm for liberals that want peace, not, mayhem, chaos, violence, murder, insanity. I'm against that.
Well, good. You're taking a bold statement on the show tonight.
Yeah. These days it is. I mean, think about it. I mean, everything is upside down. They what is evil, and then they condemn that which is good. I mean, it's very biblical in that sense. I mean, that's actually like straight from the Bible. I think it's woe to the person who declares evil good and good evil and bitter for sweet. That's something in the Old Testament. And it's what's happening right now on planet Earth.
Yeah, it's a rough state that we're in, folks. We're literally just training a generation of people, it seems, that are so sensitive about anything, that if they just hear an opinion outside of their own, it's enough to want to kill that person.
Yeah.
To have a pure hatred for that person in your heart. And this isn't just when we talk about the hatred in the heart, that is a very, very, very common thing you see. And I don't see it on the right nearly as much. I mean, you look at any of the television shows, right? Look at The View. They despise and they hate Donald Trump. Okay, you go over to The Five, and they didn't like Biden, but they joked about him. He was an old, feeble man, and they made fun of him. It was they had fun with it. But on the left, you're just seeing a pure, solid hatred for the man.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's the first layer. The first layer is people being offended. It's just sort of like among the lower level liberals and lefties. But at the core of this problem is radical revolutionaries who want to burn it all down, that are doing the bidding of the globalist psychopaths that want to build back better, which in translation actually means burn it all down so they can rebuild it into their tyrannical dystopia, which they think is a utopia. I mean, we could get into this, dude, because Peter Thiel, what's his name? The guy that's on the Trump administration.
Yeah, Thiel, I think.
Thiel. Okay, yeah. He's talking about the Antichrist now stuff, okay? And you have to understand what he's actually talking about. People are misunderstanding what he said because they're not listening to what he actually said. He says we have two options. It's either Antichrist and world government. That's the only solution that's being offered up that's going to keep the world in peace. And he's saying that. Or we have Armageddon. But the two of them are connected. And if you have world government and some world leader, some Antichrist type world leader, that is slavery. And you're not living if we're in a world that's in slavery. So he's trying, people think he's actually warning. No, he's telling us, if you listen to what he actually is saying, he's saying that this is the only solution that is offering itself up for all of the existential problems that exist in America and in the world today. Is the Antichrist solution, is what he calls it. And there is no Antichrist solution, okay? He puts that, he's using biblical metaphors to explain world government. And he does use that term, world governance. He goes, we need world governance to stop all the major risks that we're going to have if we don't do that. But then he warns, if we do that, we could also have Armageddon. But the two are connected, dude. If you enslave the whole world, we're already in Armageddon. It's the end of the world if we don't have freedom. Yeah.
It's, hey, we can all live in pods and, live some life out of the Black Mirror, but I don't want that. I don't want to live in pods and, next generation or the generation after that or the generation after that. It's not living. Anyway,
so he's getting 4 speeches on, the Antichrist and world government or something like that. 4 seminars on it. He's literally going to be giving 4 seminars on that. So I would encourage everybody to go watch it and find out what he's actually saying. But pay attention to what he's saying. People, especially Christians, they're like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. He's bringing it up and warning people. No. He's saying it's the only solution, world government, to all the how do you say that word? What's the word I'm looking for? Existential risk that we face. He says the only thing, and he says it offers itself up as the only solution. He said world governance and the Antichrist solution is the only solution. Then on MSN just the other day, there was a headline that said, Peter Thiel, Antichrist or Armageddon solution. So, but they're connected. They're one and the same. If you have world government, you're going to have eventually Armageddon because somebody's going to rebel. That ain't going to fare well with everybody. Tyranny is not going to. You're going to have eventually. Think about it, Armageddon, because somebody's going to rebel. That ain't going to fare well with everybody. Look at the Bible. It even tells you that when that happens, everything goes crazy, and it's nation against nation fighting.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a breaking story here. Charlie Kirk's assassin is in custody, as per Kash Patel, FBI director. He said on Twitter, the subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. We will provide updates when able. You know, this is another guy that just straight to the electric chair. You know, like, let's get a rope, right? Like, you got him. He's the guy. Okay, let's have, the quick trial. Like today, let's do a trial today. He's guilty. Let's hang him in the morning. That's the way I feel about it.
Well, I think Trump's going to call for that for certain, and for the Ukrainian woman that was brutally killed in a racially motivated crime.
Yeah, the White House has already called for capital punishment in that case as well, which makes sense. If somebody's that psychotic, that again, I saw this happen. I want to say it was in the UK recently, where a dude was just looking for people that weren't Muslim and just slashing their throats. And that's the new world we're going to be living in, folks.
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm surprised he was clothed. A lot of these people that go around slashing people are running around naked as well. I'm just being honest. Think about it. I mean, that's what's happening. People, wielding machetes and swords, running around naked and swinging them and trying to kill people. That's what's happening in a lot of these leftist hellscapes.
It is, and it's sad. Well, there's another headline, sicko lefties are celebrating and mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Over on Blue Sky, apparently this is the way to get the follows over there. Yeah, I could read some of these, but I'm sorry. I'm reading them now to see if they're worthy of sharing, but it's just garbage. Yeah, I mean, these are just lowlifes. I mean, I don't want to give attention to these people. It's disgusting. And yet they're out there they're just proudly saying all this stuff about how great it is that Charlie's dead.
Well, they probably saw him as a real threat, and then they're happy that he's gone because now they think they might have a chance. But what they don't understand is that someone else will rise up in his place and be just as strong and just as powerful. In fact, people will be compelled to do so. Because
and I hope they do.
That vacuum is going to be felt, and it will need to be filled.
I hope someone out there has the fortitude to do something like that. It's a big ask to go onto a college campus now as a conservative and try to present your case on anything or ask me any questions, hold one of these types of rallies. It's definitely a risk. And I really think that there's not going to be a lot of people that'll fill this void. I think it's too scary to try to go out and sit in Charlie's seat with the Turning Point logo over your head and try to do what he did.
I mean, you raise a good point. It's definitely that's a good argument, and I just think that fear will not win out in the end. And one of the things I said at the very beginning of this political war and this info war is that it would take the lives of some of our people. I said that. I didn't want to say that, but that's just my analysis. I foresaw that. I knew that would happen. And those people are warriors. Those people are our heroes, and we should continue to honor them. But fear will not be something that will dominate us, at least not long term. We will bounce back. We're resilient. The freedom fighter, the patriot in America is incredibly resilient. And the fighting spirit that we have is unrivaled. And so we will come back, and we will not bow. We didn't bow to the fear during the shamdemic. You think we're going to bow now when we're about to have victory? One of the things I've said over and over again as a self-proclaimed trends forecaster, I said that before our victory comes, things are going to look worse and worse and worse and worse. That's because things are coming to a head. That's supposed to be the way before somebody wins. It's like the saying goes, it's always darkest before the dawn rises.
Yeah. It does. Here's a clip from Scott Jennings talking about Charlie Kirk.
First of all, I'm sorry.
Sorry, this is CNN. 4:47 p.m. today.
Reflections on his life, his legacy in this moment.
Well, Charlie was one of the most unique and special people in the conservative movement today. What he was able to build, the people he was able to organize, was just so large and powerful. Was able to convince people to get involved in politics that might not have otherwise done so. And you look at what he did on these campuses and these public events, thousands of people were showing up, not for a rock concert, not for a sporting event, but for American politics. He inspired all these kids to be involved in their country. It's unequivocally a good legacy. He was also a godly person. He spoke about his faith openly.
Sorry about that.
He was unapologetic about his views. I think what's been said about Charlie having his hand on the finger on the pulse of the MAGA base is true. But what's also true is that he was enormously influential in that when an issue was emerging, when something was happening and people were sorting out their own views on it, how should I feel about this? Charlie was one of the first people they turned to see where's Charlie going to be on this issue, and how's he processing it, how's he analyzing it, and how does he think the young conservative should view whatever the issue.
Quite a tribute. And they're right. At this point, it's good to focus, I think, on the tremendous and amazing things that Charlie did. The crowd that he had gathered there today was massive. Whenever you see the clips of Charlie talking to somebody, it's usually right down in there, so you don't really get a good view of how big the crowd is. There were at least a few thousand people here at this event today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know that he would attract those types of numbers of people. I just, I figured it'd be like a Steven Crowder thing. How many people show up to ask me anything or to change my mind, right? Always looks like maybe there's 50 people around him at any given time. I kind of assumed that's what, would be there at a typical event. But this one had thousands. It was huge. And those are all college students that are afraid to talk about their beliefs in class. When they write a paper on some, event going on, they give it a liberal spin on purpose so the teachers don't grade them lower. And yet here's the one moment they can come out on their campus and actually cheer on Charlie, having a debate against some of the liberals who inevitably, will ask the same series of kind of questions, and he's got the good answers for them. He understands the subject and how to put a logical string together, because his faith is his defining factor, or was his defining factor. God, I hate to say that, but it all comes together it clean with a little bow on top, because it's all rooted in his faith. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? When you ask the liberals sometimes why they get to this conclusion on this subject, and they got to jump through a bunch of hoops to sort of make it logically make sense. Whereas Charlie just always seemed to be able to boil it right down to, hey man, this is just the way the world works, and I support logic, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reminded of a quote from the film Blade Runner. I don't know if you've seen the film or not, but it's what Dr. Eldon Tyrell told one of the droids, or whatever they were, the synthetics. He said, the light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and you have burned so very, very brightly, Roy. And sometimes the good among us, like Martin Luther King, their light burned very brightly, brighter than most, but it was only for a season. And a totally different thing than what's being spoken in Blade Runner. But it just reminded me of that some of these great people, I mean, you even look at Christ. I mean, he only lived to be 33. So, and nobody's light burned brighter than Jesus. So you see my point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great quote, actually. I like that. I've not heard that before, but it's, I'm sure it can give strength to people in a dark time, like Charlie's family right now. His wife had heard that.
He lived 2 lifetimes. He's lived 2 lifetimes of most people's life. I mean, you and I will never be able to accomplish what he did in 31 years, probably in our entire life. You see what I'm saying? He was a special and unique person in that sense. And man, just it's really hurting today. I'm feeling it. That's all I can say, man. It hurts, and I know this is not going to go away quickly.
Donald Trump has just ordered all flags to be flown at half-mast in honor of Charlie Kirk.
Man.
So, I mean, there's going to be some triggered people that, wake up tomorrow, see the flag at half-mast and say, what's that for? Oh, it's for Charlie Kirk.
And they're going to lose their marbles. Yeah.
Yeah. There are people on Blue Sky right now who are probably literally crying about that. But I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's also a sign to them that they know they're losing. That the majority of people are drifting from their radical ideas. And that scares them. And so what are they going to do? They're going to act out. They're going to be more crazy. They're going to be more loony. They're going to act more insane. They're going to be more evil. I mean, you can't describe what's happening as anything short of evil. Just cold-blooded assassinating somebody who's a good person.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw, and it's just fried into my brain at this point. I'll never unsee it. The exact moment he got shot.
Yeah, I saw it too.
And did you see the close-up version of him?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, there's a one where it's zoomed in.
I heard not to watch it. A friend of mine said I saw the close-up one, and he said I wish I hadn't.
Exactly. I
said there was a lot of blood.
It cut before he hit the ground, so to speak. There wasn't a lot of blood in the one I saw. But it's just it was devastating. It was very I can't unsee it. He sort of goes back, kind of falls flat, and then just falls over. I mean, it's almost as if he had passed away instantly. But I don't know. I
tend to think that this was more like Mark was saying before the show, that whoever did this was a paid professional of some sort. I don't think it's random, although there are those people that the fake news media winds up and they just go out and shoot and kill because they're already on the verge of being nuts anyway, and all it takes is a little bit of a nudge and then they go and do it. But this, to me, just a gut feeling, nothing more. I'm in agreement with Mark. I think this was because, look, picking Charlie Kirk is strategic. They could have picked anyone else in the freedom movement, in the conservative movement, in the MAGA movement. But they chose someone who was very influential and very powerful. And if you're a bad guy that operates in the shadows, that's the guy you're going to try to take out.
Yeah, it again, too, he was a soft target. You could find some of these other influencers, the big YouTube channels or whatever, and maybe go after one of them, but it's going to be a lot harder. Charlie, where he's going to be exactly. I mean, you can scout these places out for weeks ahead of time. It's a campus. No one's going to look twice at you if you're just walking around, and so he's that soft target. So, I mean, it was the low hanging fruit. It was easier than trying to get somebody who's, tucked up in a studio somewhere in LA or New York.
That has bodyguards and is armed. I mean, the InfoWars studio that Alex Jones is armed. That whole place has weapons.
Yeah.
Nobody that's smart's going to come in there and try to shoot somebody in there because they would defend themselves.
Oh, if you try to go into InfoWars studios and try to go after good luck. You won't get past the front, welcome mat. There's got to be more guns in that place than probably any place else on earth as far as
I saw
guns per capita.
The left freaked out when they found out he has guns in there, and they're like, he has like it was illegal. No, it's completely legal to have guns.
Yeah.
I mean, these people on the left, they don't even believe you should be able to defend yourself. Well, of course they don't, because they're the ones that are attacking. They don't want the people they're attacking to be able to defend themselves. That's why in the UK and areas in Europe, when all the Antifa BLM stuff was going on and people were trying to get bats off of Amazon just to defend themselves because, guns are illegal in a lot of those places, they banned the bats, man. They wouldn't even allow Amazon to sell bats to protect themselves because they don't want you to be able to protect yourself. They want to make you to where they want to burn it all down, man. That's why we've seen time and time again in all of these cities that have burned down where the police were given stand down orders and the mayor knew about it. And she said, we allowed them to riot. And when they say riot, they mean burn buildings down, burn police cars, knock out, businesses' windows, and perhaps even injure and harm other people or kill other people. You just let people do whatever they do. That's the kind of mentality. That's why I said we got to realize that at the first layer, it's just people that are offended. But at the deeper layer, it's revolutionaries who are trying to overthrow our government and usher in God knows what, some kind of Marxist, globalist, tyrannical dystopia.
Yeah, I'm reminded of Tim Walz's wife, who said, from the governor's mansion during the riots, she opened the windows so the smell of burning. She thought they were tires, but it wasn't tires that were burning, lady. It was stores.
She loved the smell of burning tires in the morning. It reminded her of victory.
Yeah. And that's people's livelihoods that's burning there. It's in life savings.
It's insane, dude. Completely. I mean, and we have to stress these things to make our point clear, and that it's not just conspiracy theory. This is the mentality of these people, and we've been sharing the facts and giving the evidence for 5 or 6 or 7 years, and for me on the show at least 3 years. So we're not holding anything back from you folks. What you guys do with the truth is up to you.
Yeah, but there are some evil people out there, man. There just are, and it's
yeah. I just spoke to a woman. I went out on my birthday. My parents took me out to wherever I wanted to go, and our waitress was phenomenal. And she was telling me she doesn't go anywhere at dark in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is, a fairly, it's not crazy carjack. There's violence, but it's mostly domestic, but usually there's not a lot of carjackings and just wild shootings out in the open like you see in the leftist hellscapes. But, she doesn't even get out at dark. And if she does, she goes with a group of other people, like 3 or 4 at all times, never by herself. And this is the world that we live in where women live in fear of being stalked, of being shot, being raped. And it's got to stop, man. Something's got to change.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. We're out of time for now, folks. We are going to wrap up hour 1 right here, but stay tuned. Hour 2 will be up right after these messages from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
All right.
Right after these messages from Nabisco.
Oh my God. We had a guest on Debbie's show, and he did a Nabisco commercial, and he did the whole spill. Can't think of what his name was.
Was it have another nutty butter, have another nutty butter peanut butter sandwich cookie from Nabisco?
Something like that. Something like that,
Have another
Barry, that was good.
No, it's have another nutter butter peanut butter sandwich cookie. Some sort of like Lay's. You can't just.
That was really good. I mean, when you said that, I guarantee 1,000 people in the audience just went to their fridge to go grab a cookie.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we don't have
one. I'm waiting for you to do that one there, Barry.
Subliminal. We're getting into your subliminal mind.
Let's all go to the lobby. Anyways, we're gonna switch up here in about another minute, or we get cut off, whichever comes first, and. We'll get it going on the other side.
CS is making some strong points tonight, man.
Sure is.
I'm listening.
So are you, my man.
Well, I know, but you're hitting the stuff, man, that just kind of flew over my head. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
I tell you what. With all that's going on in that, and it's happened. I think this week's better than last week. so far as the energy goes. Because
wow.
you guys are fired up.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to be over this,
Yeah.
man.
But I hate it when, the situation dictates that, though. There's nothing you can do about that, though.
The hard times, man, bring us together, man, and make it stronger. Unfortunately, that's how it works, and that's the good part of the bad part. We'll be stronger together now. We will. There'll be a new cohesion to our unity. I can guarantee it. Guaranteed.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because
all right. Well, I'm going to clear all the.
We're good to go here. I'm gonna leave this one, and I'll call you up on the next one. All right.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. Hang up then. Cool.
Go ahead.
All right.
1 more hour to go, man.
For sure. Stay tuned, folks. We got more to come. Javoke. Uh-oh. Dismiss. Javoke. King Bush camping. Sonic. What? No, hell. Come on, buddy. No, it won't let me do it. Oh well. Well, let me go back to Wednesday 1 and I'll restart that one again. All right. So oh well, oh, that's not good. Let's do this break thing. All right, let me get them back up and running again. Oh, hello.
Yep, right here, man.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me into the second one for some reason, but hey, King Bush Camp and Sonic Slasher X in the kick jack. But before I do that, and give those shout outs in there, let me go back in here to OBS and fix it so that folks can see who is with me. What? Come on. There it is. All right. Do.
Man. Whew, I'm telling you. I'm just I hope, Yotivation joins you on Sunday.
Yeah.
Did she talk to you?
She might have something to say about this.
I'll probably try to send her a text, say, man, you really need to let your voice be heard on the Sunday show, if you can make it, of course.
Well.
Yeah, I just think,
Hey, by the way, I meant to ask you before we started, but it was not time then. How's your mom? She's good?
She's okay. The surgery that she had is going to take, to really know the full outcome, it'll take probably 30 days for us to know. But, okay. I remain hopeful, prayerful, optimistic, all that.
Okay, man. Everyone out there in the audience, you know what to do, man. Prayers and love.
Yes.
Prayers and love to Barry's mom.
She is a true angel. And a sweetheart.
That's what moms are.
Yep.
Mm.
Unless you get papers from them.
Served papers.
Yeah.
For what? A restraining order? Or
Support
something?
restraining order. There's, it's the modern age, all right? What can I say?
Isn't that a song? Didn't David Bowie do a song called "The Modern Age"?
Modern man or modern love or something like that.
Yeah,
Modern-
yeah.
Modern Love, yeah.
Yeah, gets
Yeah.
me to the church on time.
Yep.
Church on time.
Terrifies
Yep.
me.
Yep.
Oh,
Do.
all right, well, I've got some actual stories that happened before today. So let's cover some of this stuff in the next hour.
Because we could do the whole 2-hour show about
Yeah.
it.
And I mean, I want it to be a theme. I'm not going to not, come in and say, hey, by the way, this happened today.
Right. Well, there's other news that's taking place, and it's all kind of coalescing and connected.
Mhm.
It's one thing that's for certain.
What
People know,
is there anything
Ah, it's-
international that went on that was big today that could have been covered up by this?
Yes. Very big. Russia sent like a dozen or more drones into Poland.
What? That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
we're on
it's not.
we're on the verge of potentially World War III, but that's a whole other topic.
Utah Valley
and the Polish want us to have a base there. So, yeah, that's great. 30 seconds, guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, and y'all get quiet. Yeah.
I'm just looking at a picture of Charlie here, and it just, oh man, it's making me think. But I know we got to move on. So.
All right.
Just in an instant.
Here's your countdown.
Just
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are live and back on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show for September 10th, 2025. A red letter date that will go down in history, as Charlie Kirk was assassinated earlier today, just a few hours ago, at, oh gosh, I just had the name of the university up in front of me. It's right here. Utah Valley University in Utah, obviously, and Orem, which is just south of Salt Lake City. He was giving a Turning Point Ask Me Anything sort of event that he's so famous for. And an assassin from a distance of about 200 yards shot him in the neck, and he went to the hospital and died shortly thereafter. He was reported in critical condition by the Associated Press. And then it came out from John Solomon and from Charlie's radio show that he in fact had passed away. So this is a very unfortunate day in history, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. We've spent most of the first hour talking about this. Is there anything else you want to say about Charlie and his life and tragic death before we kind of hit some other stories?
Yeah, just one last thing. I'm looking at a picture of him online, and he's smiling. He's throwing out hats to people for free, and that's how I remember Charlie. Always this glowing, illuminated face and smile, full of life, full of energy, and almost like he had this little boyish look about him. He didn't even really look 31. He just sort of looked, almost like there's this innocence to him. And that's how I kind of remember him, as just a good old boy, a good person that cares about other people, a person of faith, a person of family. And that was all taken from us in an instant, like you said during the break. And it's tragic.
And we had Van Jones the other day blaming Charlie Kirk for the tragic death in North Carolina, in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, because he shared an article or two about it, sort of saying, well, it's their fault for showing people what's happening. They didn't care about the murder.
Exactly.
They care about people reporting on it because it doesn't fit the narrative that homeless, psychos that are just great people. That's the narrative.
And the narrative is also that people that have been, released from prison multiple times are completely fine and safe to roam the streets.
Mm-hmm. But so there was some attention that was paid to Charlie from a guy like Van Jones, blaming him for the. Okay, so you got to get in the head of the killer, right? He watches that, agrees with Van Jones, and thinks, South Park recently did a episode where they featured Charlie Kirk. Well, some of the students won a Charlie Kirk award and whatnot, and they were just totally trying to imitate his exact methods and whatnot and make fun of it. But again, a lot of negative attention has been paid to Charlie recently in the press and media, and on South Park. And it just leads up to this feeling that, hey, maybe if you're crazy enough, maybe you look at all that stuff and you say, the world will love me if I do this.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, wait till you get to prison. You find out how many people listen to his podcast there.
I think that one of the reasons that the left hates, and Hollywood as well, probably hates people like Charlie Kirk, is because he's an effective Christian. And the kind of Christians that they portray in Hollywood are nut jobs. And I'm not saying that there aren't some Christians that are nut jobs. There are. I mean, clearly. I mean, we've seen Jim Jones was a nut job, right? He caused everybody to drink the Kool-Aid and they all died. But they knew his faith was genuine and that it was backed by love and concern and respect for everyone. That's why they hated him. They didn't hate him because he was a crazy Christian. They hated him because he was a sensible Christian.
Yeah. It's a crazy, messed up world out there, folks, and we're just reporting on it. We're just doing our best to report on it and not lose our minds. I'd go insane if I wasn't a little crazy already. The crazy keeps me stable.
Yeah, I'll just say one last thing really quickly, and I've been warning about this on the show. The last 3 or 4 shows, I've been saying that there's going to be an uptick in attacks on Christians, and that had Trump not been elected, we would already see churches being burned down in America. Remember how many times I've said that over the last month? Well, folks, you're seeing it happen in real time because I have my finger on the pulse.
Yep. It'll get a lot darker before it gets bright. And speaking of, let's move to world politics.
In other news, in the Armageddon.
Yeah. On the subject of, getting a lot worse before it gets better, a huge number of Russian drones overnight were violated Poland's airspace overnight yesterday. They're saying as many as 24 military-grade drones flew in through Ukraine and Belarus into Poland and were shot down. One of them fell into a home and tore a hole through the roof. That is about the extent of the damages. There were no fatalities. It was just a massive violation of Poland's airspace by Russia. This triggered, what do they call it, a level 4 response from Poland, which forces the United Nations or NATO to go meet and discuss this and figure out what they're going to do. Level 5 is when we're all in it and we're going to react, and we just got pulled into World War III. Okay? So to put it into perspective, if we decide that this was an attack on Poland itself, then it's it's the same thing as if it were an attack on the United States, and everyone will respond, according, or attack on their country, attack on the UK, on France, on any NATO member. So they're all obligated to respond if that happens. So it's hopefully not going to escalate to that. This was still a weird thing that Putin is doing to try to poke the bear, so to speak, and see what happens. This was not a mistake. This was targeted. This was on purpose. And it's a massive violation of Poland's airspace and air rights. They grounded every airplane in the country, closed down all the airports for, the night, and, had to take pretty dramatic steps to protect themselves in this, what at the time seemed like an attack from Russia coming in on their country. And they, had to get all their airplanes in the air, all their fighter jets, that is. And, that's why they cleared the airways or the airspace so that, they could effectively clean it out and make sure there was no other drones flying around out there. Wild stuff, Barry. What do you think? What's Putin doing here? Why would he do this?
I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm kind of lost for words on this one. It doesn't sound like a good, positive, strategic move by any means. So the world is basically boiling over, and that's what's kind of concerning. And I just think that level heads need to sort of begin to just rule the day again. And we've got the NATO people and all the leftists that just want more war. And now you have this move from Russia. It's just that every move is just the wrong move. And anytime Trump tries to make a good move, like broker a peace deal, there's always some crazy stuff going on to prevent it from happening. It's always being sabotaged from somebody somewhere. And look, the world needs peace now more than ever, because look, the weapons that we have are, Trump has even said it. He said, we have weapons that you have no idea about. You can't even wrap your head around it. Okay. And believe me, I believe they do. Okay. And they're worse than nuclear. There's this thing called a fusion bomb, which is worse than a hydrogen bomb. Can you look into that as well? They may have that technology right now as well. So who knows what they have, but they could blow this world up 100 times over if they wanted to. So we need to have level heads prevail, because we're on the verge of everything literally just falling apart, man. And when that happens, people start losing their marbles and losing their minds, and people start acting irrationally. And before you know it, man, the world is at war. It's happened before. World War I, World War II, and World War III could happen at any moment.
Yeah, and you go back through time, and just because they're called World War I and II doesn't mean they were the first world wars,
Right.
Like, history is just filled with conquest and
world
war
domination.
Yeah, it's just filled with it.
Whether it's Napoleon or whoever, right? Hitler. It just
the Mongols.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
The Greeks, the Romans, the Ottomans. It's just one after the other.
There were all kinds of empires.
Exactly. And, it's now, okay, Russian newspapers are saying, and this is an interesting twist. They're saying that Ukraine did this. They were Ukrainian drones because they want to pull the EU into the war, or, NATO into it. How believable is that to you? Russia's media is about as bad as ours, by the way.
I really need to look more into this. I know it was headline news in a lot of different places today, but I really have not had a time to really do any research today, unfortunately. But I am very concerned about it, and I am concerned about, of course, World War III. We've been talking about the potential of World War III for a long time. It's still a big threat, and I do believe that the power brokers, the nefarious power brokers of this world, would love to have World War III. They would love to have a civil war in America, because they need America to fall in order to have their world order.
Yeah, to rebuild it better.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was Joe Biden's entire campaign message. Build back better. Tear it down with COVID and build it back better. Although COVID wasn't big enough to actually do the damage. But anyway, let's dive around a little bit more because I've got some more international news. Let's go to the UK. The UK Home Secretary says white males holding the English flag are bad people. Okay, do I need to repeat that? The UK Home Secretary, white males holding the English flag are bad people. I am flabbergasted that in the UK, the Home Secretary considers any white man who picks up an English flag, the flag of their country, to be bad people. It just never seems to end over there with the, gosh, what was I calling it before? The demoralization. The demoralization phase, where they're just trying to make you just say, screw it, I give up, whatever. I'm done. I'm not going to fight back. I give up. I'm done. You guys won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flying the flag, if it's racist, whatever, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they're never going to be happy until, everybody's flying the global flag, global citizen, global flag. That's what they want. They don't want you to have national sovereignty. They don't want you to have a tribe. They want everybody unified in some crazy, insane hive mind. That's what Peter Thiel's talking about. They want everybody in a hive mind.
And we've got her on tape saying this. So let's play the clip.
The people that you see holding the English flag most of the time down my neck of the woods will be the EDL, and they are white, they are male, and they're bad people, and they want to divide our communities from one another.
The EDL, she's saying, I don't know how much you heard of that, but the people you see holding the English flag most of the time down in my neck of the woods will be the EDL, and they are white, and they are male, and they're bad people. The EDL dissolved over a decade ago.
Okay, what does the EDL stand for?
English Defense League. Tommy Robinson was part of the founding of that group. And it was a group that was brought together to push back against the migrant rape games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they, had these communities where they saw this going on, and they got together and, and he disavowed himself. It got out of control. He created a monster that went well beyond anything he had intended when it was put together. So he distanced himself from it, and it ultimately got dissolved because it just had such a bad stink. But she's blaming this group that dissolved a decade ago for being active today. And you'd think the Home Secretary would know something like that.
Well, maybe she does. She just wants to spread her misinformation, or disinformation, I should say.
Malinformation, even.
Yeah. It's just, they know what's going on. I don't think they're that stupid. And if they are, man, then they shouldn't be in office.
Yes, they shouldn't be in office. That's a great way to put it. So comedian Graham Linehan, who's the guy who got arrested in the UK for a tweet he did 5 months ago. He's not a British citizen or subject. He didn't do it in England. He did it in Arizona. But he's now seeking asylum in the United States, which is pretty interesting. I would love to see this guy, the founder, he's the guy who created the It Crowd and Father Ted, right? So well-known guy, Irish born, 57 years old. They arrested him when he wasn't even a citizen of the UK. It's ridiculous.
It's shocking. It really is. But that goes right back to the, the whole global order thing, You can commit a crime, in, I don't know, say Germany or somewhere. That's not a crime in Germany, but it's a crime in the UK, but they'll extradite you or something like that. I mean, this is all part of the global design of things, to where, they want to be able to control everybody, put everybody on a tight leash. And it's getting out of hand, but it's exactly what I said. I said the globalists are going to go with their foothold strategy. They're not going to back down. And this is what everybody really needs to realize. Like if you've been sitting on the fence, not wanting to get engaged in this, this fight, you need to get off the fence, man. And, stop being a bench warmer and get involved, because they will literally take over the whole world if we do not peacefully resist these tyrants.
Yeah. The interesting thing is we've seen all these celebrities say they're, leaving for England because it's so much safer there, so much better there. People aren't, bad. And here's a guy who's trying to seek asylum to the United States to get out of there. So it's very interesting. I hope Trump gives him asylum.
Well, I think the Hollyweirdos like the tyranny, man. They love that kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Robin Wright just left because, same kind of reason. She thought you could be more free, she thought, in the UK. I was like, really? Unless, of course, you speak a tweet that they don't like and then you go to jail.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
how free is that? But, and again, I don't think the Hollyweirdos are completely like insane as far as not knowing what's going on. I just think they love that kind of tyranny. They love it because they're a part of it. I mean, that's what they've been doing for the last couple of decades. It's just doing the bidding of the tyrannical propaganda masters and feeding us garbage nonstop. I can't watch anything coming out of Hollyweird anymore. Almost nothing. Like maybe 0.0001% of something that comes out of Hollyweird that's new could I even sit through and tolerate. I mock it because it's garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just is. They're going out of their way not to be funny because they don't want to offend anybody. But yet it's offensive when you just don't think we're mature enough to be able to take a joke. Comedy shouldn't have guardrails. It should go all over the place. And if it's ugly and splatters on someone's foot, then, that's part of comedy. But at the end of the day, if you're a comedian, you just can't hold back. You have to put it all out on the table. And, sometimes you cross the line, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's funny. You're bringing the funny.
Yeah, but the left isn't very funny. Not anymore.
Oh, no. They don't like funny.
And there's a strange phenomena going on with the Hollyweirdos. Mm-hmm. In the last month, there's been 4 instances where these actors, whether it be movies or plays, are getting standing ovations that are lasting over 15 minutes now. It started out with Eddington, that globalist anti-American film that came out. It got a 7-minute standing ovation. The Rock got one. Another movie got one, and just 2 days ago, some kind of play or something where they they know they're being rejected by the public, and the public no longer cares about them, nor do they have any more influence or sway.
But Hollywood's embracing it, yeah. But on that note, Barry, we've got to go to break. It's that time, unfortunately. Save any thoughts that you want to expand on into the next segment. Folks, Censorship Roundtable radio show will be right back after this.
That almost sounded like it was broken up by teams, but it wasn't. That was good, though. You okay? Take a drink, man.
I was going to try.
Oh, hold on here. Maybe you had too much already. No, I'm kidding. You all right?
Where is he? Are you there?
Yeah. What?
What happened?
I don't know. What's up?
It sounded
What'd you do, Barry?
It sounded right at the end like you broke up, but it wasn't. It was like you were tongue-tied, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I just tried to play it off like nothing happened.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, there we go.
Well, I tell you what, the censorship sucks is hard to say sometimes fast. I found myself stumbling over that phrase for some reason. I want to say censorship shucks, instead of, I don't know what it is. But anyway, man, I wanted to finish my rant about Hollywood because they are so narcissistic into themselves now, giving themselves these incredibly long standing ovations and just like sucking it in like they're, I don't know, like they're self-important, and nobody cares about. One of the movies that they got a 15-minute standing ovation for was freaking Frankenstein. Okay, No way. We're not talking Schindler's List here, okay? We're talking Frankenstein. And nobody is going to do Frankenstein so good that it deserves a 15-minute standing ovation. I don't care. It's impossible, man. And so they're doing this stuff to feed their egos. And I think that there's people behind it making sure it happens. You know, keep them confident.
Well, who played Frankenstein first? All right, was it like Zeus?
Zeus?
Yeah, you know the guy from Fridays. Zeus, the big dude, big bald-headed dude from Fridays.
Fridays, the restaurant.
He's been in a lot of movies. He's like I think he was a linebacker at one time, or he's bigger. I think he's even bigger than Terry Crews as far as like buff wise. Yeah, they call his name Zeus. And, the first thing he does is he doesn't have many lines, but he always smiles and he has great big gold teeth. I'm like, oh man, but
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now?
I do, yeah. But and all these Hollywood weirdos, they're like crying. The Rock was crying, and
Dude, and I saw a clip of The Rock recently, and he's like lost a ton of weight. He's like not. Yeah. He's like kind of skinny now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was supposedly for a role, but he looks unhealthy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he lost a lot of his bulk and his mass as well, like his muscles.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's kind of scary. And then
his money, man. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, they didn't hire the guy for his acting; they hired him for his body.
Well, I think that's why everybody was like, praising him, because this is like his first, serious role or whatever. Getting outside of the action genre and actually some drama. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, 14 minutes is a little much, and why do these films deserve a standing ovation? And they're all getting it. I don't understand. It's like this never happened before either.
He could have played Frankenstein.
It was in the news saying that 15 minutes is the longest ever recorded for a standing. 15 minutes. They're standing on their feet applauding for 15 minutes over Frankenstein. Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's like, I don't know, Michael Jackson.
30 seconds, guys.
The album Bad in concert live, for the first time, and everyone, that's where you give somebody a 15-minute ovation.
Yeah, you want him to come back and perform one more time.
You've never heard any of the album Bad before, and all of a sudden he goes out and live and does it for you, just like jaw on the floor,
Yeah, exactly.
And here's your countdown. 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show for September 10th, 2025, a red-lettered date today as if you're new to the show and you haven't been listening, Charlie Kirk passed away earlier today. Well, I say passed away. He was assassinated. He was shot in the neck from 200 yards at a Utah Valley University Turning Point event that he was doing, as he always does, with the Ask Me Anything series that he goes around from campus to campus and has all these students. And there were thousands of people there, folks, thousands of people there. We spent nearly the whole first hour talking about this. And a good part of the second hour as well. So we have other things, I want to discuss. But again, Barry, if you'd like to chime in on that at all, just while we're on the subject again.
Yeah, I just wanted to. It's funny because I was doing my jog today and I was thinking about, the Christian faith and how when somebody dies, we don't consider, somebody died. We consider it a departure. And this was before I, knew anything about Charlie Kirk. But since his faith did mean so much to him, and I would just say this to every Christian out there that's a believer, he's not dead, he's departed. And this is a cool thing where Paul talks about before he died, he was ready to have his departure. In other words, he goes on living, but not down here on this crazy earth. So it's a departure, which I'm just trying to say there is some comfort in that, in the Christian faith, in that we live on, and it's not death. It's merely a departure from this world, translating into the next one, the eternal.
Erica Kirk, Mrs. Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, posted Psalms 46:1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So, yeah, so their faith will get them through this. Then the country will follow suit. I don't know what to say, folks. This is just really, we said a lot in the first hour. Go back and listen to it. Mark always puts our post productions up around the internet the day after the show. So you can always find our archives out there. If you want to hear more about this, we covered it in great detail in the first hour. But anyway, I want to dive into other news. We had the Philadelphia Karen. Okay, let's talk about Philadelphia Karen.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
She's not happy.
There's a baseball game going on in Philadelphia, folks. Everyone's having a good old time. They got the hot dogs, the beers, the nachos, everything's flowing. The dad is out there in the outfield, sitting, well, not in the outfield, in the stands past the outfield with his son. His son's got the baseball mitt on. You know, it's his birthday, kid's birthday. He's got his mitt. What does he want? He wants to, every boy wants to bring home a baseball from the baseball game, right? So the catcher for Philadelphia gets up to the plate, winds one out, knocks it clear out of the field into the stands, feet away from the father. The father gets up, jogs over to it, picks it up, holds it up for the crowd. Everyone cheers, and he gives it to his son, puts it in his mitt, and says, "There you go, kid." Pats him on the head, and they're having a good old moment. They're kind of in a bit of a, kid's leaning up behind him. He's got his arms around his kid, and all of a sudden, Philadelphia Karen shows up. And she says, apparently in explicit profanity, vulgar profanity, that's her ball. It fell underneath her seats. She was in row 8. It fell in row 7. And it was under there. And she was trying to get it, but he came over and took it from her. And she wanted it back. Expletive, expletive, expletive. And the dude just goes, "Okay, lady, you're clearly insane. Here's the ball." He takes it out of his kid's glove and hands it to her, and she walks away all proud that she got the ball as the stadium boos her. Boo! Everyone, their jaws were on the floor. How awful of a person are you to do something like that?
Yeah. We see a lot happening, don't we, man? It was just last week that guy took the tennis player's hat that he had given to the kid. Remember that?
Oh, man. It's just it's vulgar stuff.
Where is people's manners, And why do they care so much about, I don't understand pro sports. I mean, I don't even watch any of it anymore. I love to play sports. In fact, I'm playing pickleball tomorrow night, and it's going to be very competitive. I'm going to be sweating, and it's going to be a blast. But I could care less about professional sports. I don't even like watching them because it's become such a spectacle.
Well, James Wood posted something that will bring joy to everyone's heart. Okay, if you go to X, look up James Wood, look at his timeline today. He posted a 2-minute video of people getting the ball and then giving it to the kid. It's not their kid. It's just a kid in the area. Here you go, kid. It's little kids getting the ball and they give it to the girl that's, their sister or their friend or whatever. And, they want the ball. And it's just 2 minutes straight of people being really beautiful when they get one of those home run balls in their hands, and you're a 50-year-old dude and there's an 8-year-old kid sitting 2 seats down from you. You don't know who he is, but you say, "Here you go, kid. Good for you. Take that home with you."
Yep.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And what ended up happening that night, just to round out the story, is shortly after the event, somebody from management came over to them and gave them a souvenir bag. They said, "Here you go." I'm sure it had jerseys in there, all kinds of beautiful stuff, maybe a brand new mitt for the kid, who knows, a couple baseballs, maybe signed, who knows. But then the guy who hit the home run, the catcher for the Phillies, met the kid after the game, and he gave him a signed bat. So here you go, man. You may never get that ball back, but here's a signed bat.
Which is better.
Which is better. It's great. They got to meet him, shake his hand, take photos with him, the whole 9 yards. And, so this Karen.
Philadelphia Karen.
And she looks so much like Elizabeth Warren, too. That's the fun thing about her. She just looks like.
I have no doubt that she is. I have no doubt.
They're drinking the same Kool-Aid without a doubt, right? They're doing the same stuff. But let's see here. There's the Savannah Bananas. Have you ever heard of them?
No, can't say I have.
They're like the the Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball. Savannah Bananas.
Oh, okay.
And they were having a game the other night, and they set up a little thing in the audience where, one of the players in the outfield goes and throws the ball up to this little kid, but they're dressed up in costumes, and the dad goes and gets it, and he gives it to his little kid, and they're all celebrating, they're hugging, and just happy as can be. And then the Grinch, who stole Christmas, walks over and starts yelling at him and demanding the ball, and then he gets the ball and starts walking away with it. And it was really funny. It was reminiscent of when I can't remember what baseball team it was that remember the Coldplay couple that were so embarrassed?
Yes.
Yeah, they had their mascot up in the stands hugging some other mascot.
Yeah.
The camera goes to them and they're freaking out. Oh. But it's a funny story, but it's a good story. I like how it all kind of worked out because this lady is miserable and she can't go outside anymore. And she certainly can never go to the baseball game without being recognized.
Yeah.
They
need to make wanted Karen posters and just to warn people,
Yeah.
Philadelphia Karen right below, picture of her mug right there on the pole. That way, if you see her, to flee as far away from her as you possibly can. Have no interaction with them, because we've seen how they act when you try to interact with them. They get crazier, actually, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you try to make sense to them, like, ma'am, all I'm doing is, no, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. Because they don't understand sense, because they're speaking nonsense.
Well, that was her ball, as far as she was concerned.
Of course.
That was her ball, because it fell one row in front of her seats.
Well, even though it was not, I mean, wouldn't it be better to let the kid have the stupid ball, like you were saying? I mean, why do you need a ball? Do you really love baseball that much? Do you got to have a ball that you take it away from a child who, when you're a child, man, dreams of everything. You dream of being a professional baseball player. You dream of being a firefighter, a police officer, a doctor, whatever, maybe even an entrepreneur, who knows? But, you don't want to kill kids' dreams. That's like the worst monstrosity you could possibly do to a kid.
Yeah. But, I mean, she went over there thinking absolutely that was her ball.
And nothing about the kid.
Yeah, didn't care, whatever. You stole my ball, you white male. Don't mansplain to me why that isn't my ball.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows how far she took it.
Well, I mean, clearly she did. She just, was screaming. But the bottom line is when a home run goes out there, it's just a finders keepers, man. Whoever gets it, gets it. And what they do with it afterwards is up to them. But that's an unwritten rule, man. Tell me I'm wrong.
Stupid. You need to do it in privacy these days because everything is on camera. And especially at a big, giant event where there's cameras, you could found out, just like we found out about the couple at Coldplay. There's cameras everywhere. If you're going to do something stupid, do it in privacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my advice.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just looking through some articles here. What do we want to cover next? Okay, well, this is an interesting one. There's a group of Muslims in Texas, in Austin, if I'm not mistaken here, that are going around business to business to business and saying, you have to stop selling pork. You have to stop selling alcohol and lottery tickets. So alcohol, gambling, pork. You must stop this. In Texas.
In America.
in Texas.
Okay, that's
Texas.
insane. That's got to stop.
You want to take his ribs away, some pork ribs away from a Texan? Good luck with that. But they're out there. And I mean, this guy's going into these stores and saying, hey, you have to do this. You're on notice, because they're Muslim-owned stores. And so they're just going in and say, you're on notice. You've got a couple months. And within the next few months, you have to stop doing all these things here at this store. That, mind you, if he stopped selling alcohol, beer, lottery tickets, and any pork product, any product that isn't halal, let's go there, right? He's going to shut down. It's going to go out of business. It's Texas.
So it's Muslims telling other Muslims.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, if that's their choice, then so be it. But if they're going to tell people, like me, that, I can't eat pork or something like that, forget that. Forget about that, because that ain't going to happen, man. It's America.
Yeah. Well, it's a slow. It's a road. They're going down the road. You know what I mean?
It's a slippery
What
slope.
you're talking about is further down the road, but it's on the same road.
Right. I got you. It's destination road. It's where the path leads if it continues.
Yeah. Because, they're talking to Muslim-owned convenience stores,
Okay.
and things like that. But how many of the customers of that Muslim-owned convenience store are Muslim?
Well, exactly.
5%? 2%? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
10? I have no idea. But it's not a majority. And they are going to walk in there and say, hey, yo, man, I came here for some beers. You don't sell beer anymore? No, we cannot sell the beer. Okay, I will never come here again. Thank you very much. You're done.
Yeah. Hey, you got those barbecue pork ribs fired up again tonight? Sure like to have some. Oh, no, we don't have those anymore.
Yeah, it's not, it's haram. It's haram. No good.
Well, I look at it like if they want to self-destruct, that might fly very well in, I don't know, maybe Syria or somewhere, but not in America. That's not going to be successful. I can't imagine, that those kind of restrictions would be multiplying their financial.
Mm-hmm. And this is Houston, by the way. Okay, so I thought it was awesome. It's Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Just, I don't know where this is even going. I really don't. But it's an interesting thing to see. Over time, Muslims have taken over and dominated many, many, many countries. Okay. Iran, Iraq, they weren't Muslim countries until they were. And there is methods to the way they do things. And when they hit a certain percentages, they change their strategies. Okay. So when they're in a minority, they typically tend to, reach out to coalitions and, which is why we see the Queers for Palestine movement, they reach out for allies and offer that allyship up. When they get to another level, say 20%, then they start different strategies to subvert the system. Once they reach the 50% mark, and that's quote unquote democracy, boom, you got majority rule, and you start instantly implementing Sharia law, all these other different things.
Well, I believe it's my understanding that the Hadith talks about how it's totally okay to in order to take over an area, to go undercover in the aspect of adapting to, culture that you're not supposed to adapt to under Islamic law. So it allows for that as part of the takeover.
Exactly, with the emphasis on having as many kids as possible.
It's very deceptive. It's very, very deceptive.
Yeah, it's, it comes in friendly, and by the end of the day, hey, they're going to tell you we're the religion of peace, we're, everything, but you have to pay the tax. If you're not a Muslim, you have to pay the tax, and you'll live as a second-class citizen. If you convert, you stop paying the tax, and you become a full-on citizen. But it's the conversion part. You have to do that, period. You have to take the submission to Islam to heart. And if you're not there praying and you're not there paying, if you're not part of the system, life gets hard for you very quick.
There's a lot of weird
So,
stuff I've seen that, some of the Muslims have come over from other countries are doing here in America, like just praying like in the middle of an airplane. I've seen that happen a few times, because it's their time. Is that really, couldn't you wait till, I don't know, you get off the plane or pray silently? Do you have to, get down in the middle of the aisle and bow down and draw attention to yourself? All I know about the Christian faith, it says when you pray, go to your closet, so that you don't do it as, some sort of fake religious, hypocritical thing. To do it in private.
Yeah. And I mean, we've all seen the videos of, Belgium and Paris and whatnot, where entire streets are taken up with people, praying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just complete shut down everything.
Mm-hmm. And some weird chanting and beating of their chest. It's some sort. I don't know much about it. I just know that I've seen it happen multiple times. I don't know. It's some sort of rile the crowd up thing. I don't know. Maybe some form of prayer. I have no idea. But it's kind of intimidating looking when you're looking at it on video. You see the whole crowd doing that. And you're like, what's going on here? I hope this is peaceful, man. I hope this is peaceful.
Yeah, I think that's a tradition that's specific to a certain holiday or something that they do that. But yeah, let's just hope it's peaceful. Exactly. You hear Allahu Akbar and it's, you duck at this point. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk a little bit about John Fetterman, who is shockingly like one of the most based people in the left. I thought this guy was a nightmare when he was running for office. I don't know how he won. Must have had some deep pockets behind him. But today he's kind of a different guy.
In a former communist nation. And I asked that. I said, some people in my party, some of the lefties are talking about socialism now. What do you think? He's like, that's the worst thing ever. You're going to need a reality check if you ever adopt any of those things. Like you are morons.
Don't you love how he's just so right to the point?
Yeah, I missed what he said at the very beginning. My headphone cut out. What did he say at the very beginning?
Well, he said he went to some socialist countries and talked to the people and said, hey, some of the members of my party are for socialism. What do you think of that? Right. And he's like, yeah, they're morons. Like, it's the worst thing you could possibly do to the United States of America, mind you. Okay. If Canada wants to do it, fine. If Quebec wants to, leave Canada and create its own little, socialist utopia, go for it. We don't care. Have fun. But in America, hell no. Absolutely never. Never, never, never.
And I kind of was under the impression that he was a typical leftist socialist before, he had that stroke or whatever it was that he had. He seemed to be very much aligned with the radical left's ideology. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've kind of heard like people are saying that he's kind of been like reborn in a sense since that has happened. I don't know.
Or he was, I guess you could call him a dino. You don't really hear about those very often. You know what I mean? A Democrat in name only. That when he ran, he knew he had to say some things that would bring the radicals to vote for him.
Yeah, that's.
But then then you get in office and you can actually show the people who you are.
I think that's a possibility for sure. Yeah.
Who knows?
People will say what they need to say to get elected, of course. I mean, that's the political way. That's the political path, unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, we've only got a few minutes left. And so I just want to bring it back to the number one story for the day is Charlie Kirk. God bless him. God bless his family. God bless his friends. All the people at Human Events, Jack Posobiec and the whole crew over at Human Events.
And Brent
Hamachek.
I hope he's doing well.
I
know he's very fond of Charlie.
Yeah, well, they're very good friends. And, he brought him into the Human Events universe. Charlie brought Brent into it, as far as I understand. Brent was one of the people that helped write the founding documents for Turning Point USA. They've known each other a long time. That goes back to like 2012 or so, you know. So, I
feel you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So they've got
Yeah.
history, you know. And I mean, just think about how much it's gonna. I mean, it hurts us, dude. I mean, I feel the impact of this thing, man. It just sort of took the wind out of me, and I can just imagine that anybody that knows him on a personal level and has known him for a while, this is going to be really difficult for them. And I feel for them and pray that they, you know, are comforted during this time because it's difficult.
Wow, here's a crazy update. The New York Yankees held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk before tonight's game. The New York Yankees. That's crazy.
That conservatives are actually liked in some of these leftist hellscapes, believe it or not. You know, Trump got, you know, they tried to say that Trump got booed at the U.S. Open in New York City. It didn't happen. There were actually liberal Democrat pundits, you know, fake news pundits that said, I was there and he did not get booed. That's all make believe. So he's well liked even, and we've talked about this before, you know, wherever he goes, he has a large following and a large crowd. The people that hate him are a fringe, a small number of people. I think it's 36% supposedly strongly disagree with Trump. That's still a small number.
Here we played that MSLSD clip earlier tonight, right? They actually, their president issued a statement regarding that. She said, quote, during our breaking news coverage of the shooting of Charlie Kirk, Matthew Dowd made comments that were inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable. We apologize for his statements. As has he. There is no place for violence in America, political or otherwise. So that's a little bit refreshing to see that. I mean, they still are trash, but, you know.
Well, I think some of them are going to wise up. They're going to have to, or they're going to just literally collapse and be non-existent. And they will literally take on that name, the legacy media, the dinosaur legacy media, because they're done for. They're finished, man. And if they keep going down this path, they're only going to lose more and more credibility. So they need to wise up and do the right thing.
And lastly, in the few seconds now that we have left, the president has ordered all flags to be flown at half staff.
That's good.
So, if you're flying your flag tomorrow, put it up half staff in honor of Charlie Kirk, a great American, a patriot, a wonderful human being. And keep him in your prayers, as we will all also keep Barry's mom in our prayers. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and we love her very much. Folks, we're going to end the show right here. Stay tuned, though. There's much, much more from Dragus Productions coming up right after this break.
All right. Great show, guys.
All right.
Really good.
All right. Yeah.
As soon as I get everything set up here, I'm going to give Jack a call and get him a rolling.
Okay.
All right.
Rolling and rawhide.
All right. You guys take care, and I will catch up with you later on.
What was that, Limp?
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. That was the Censorship Sucks Roundtable radio show.